Hello everybody, Thy Lord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program Career Mode. And I thought it was worth mentioning that, we haven't really done much science on the surface of Kerbin. There's a lot of science to be done, it's just that we haven't because, I guess the Kerbals, um, invented rocket technology, oddly enough, before they invented, I guess, any kind of airplane technology. And we'll just go ahead. We'll build ourselves a small airplane. That should be easy enough to do. And the way we're going to do that, of course, is we are going to find ourselves some wings if we have them, and in fact we do. We have these swept wings that we can use, and we'll just want to put on symmetry mode and angle these guys up just a bit. And we'll want to put on a tailplane as well. We've unlocked our delta winglet. So, we will definitely have that at our disposal. We have the complex control surface, which, I did sort of screw up on this. I should have put down the, this section first, and then attached our control surfaces. But now that we've got that taken care of, we will pitch this thing up so we can take advantage of the dihedral effects, and it'll raise our lift very slightly. And in fact, we probably don't need much in the way of I guess fuel here. We could do more fuel, but what we'll do instead is we will attach some experiments that we can bring with us. So we've got a bunch of experiments here. Definitely we'll want to attach this materials bay. We'll actually attach a couple. We'll also attach ourselves this barometer. These things do weigh about the same, so what we'll do is we will we'll put them here on the side. And we'll also attach a thermometer as well. And all we have to do now is we'll probably want some power. That would probably be nice to have. And we will attach our wheels as well. So let's see. We'll put on some batteries. We actually have larger batteries we can use here, which will be nice. And we have solar panels as well. And last but not least, we want a we want an antenna as well. And we'll just we'll angle that down just a little bit. except we won't screw up the angle like I've done here. This is undoubtedly the more difficult part of getting this thing set up. So, see, what do we need? Wheels? We'll just grab us some wheels. And, we'll set this thing up so that it angles forward. Now we have, in the new version, we have tweakables we can use. And so I'm going to use a front steering design here to where we steer from the front. And we'll just go ahead, we'll give this thing a name. How about the Birdie 1? Let's just go ahead, we'll give that thing a test flight. Oh, I guess we could actually add one more experiment to that. That experiment being, of course, our goo pods. So let's go ahead, let's grab maybe an EVA report. I don't know if this will count as I don't know if this will count as whatchamacallit, as the launch pad or not. Let's see. We do in fact have a completely different deal going on here. So let's we can even do this from the cockpit view, and we will just go ahead and begin. I don't really understand what I've done wrong here, because we should have power. Maybe I put on a structural thing instead. Oh, we have no intake. Well, we'll just grab the we'll grab this thing here. We'll grab all of our scientific data we possibly can, because we're going to want to take that and I guess bring out our deal. So let's just grab this materials-based study, and we will recover that. Despite the fact that we have not actually done anything on the launch pad. That's actually, oh, I see, that's 140 there. That was the wrong place to go. I don't want to go to the VAB. I want to go to the spaceplane hangar. And so, we'll do that. We'll add in our intake air, because that is an important thing for us to have. So where is our ship? We will just go to, what is it, utility, I think. Maybe it's aerodynamics, I'm not sure. This could be a bit of a problem for us if we don't have intake air, so we'll just put this in on the side and try again. This time, hopefully, without any issues. So let's go into cockpit view. Let's turn on the brakes real quick. Turn on SAS full throttle. And why am I not moving forward? I guess we had to wait for this thing to warm up some. I did forget to change the flight characteristics of this, but that's okay. That, however, is not. And Jebediah Kerman has died as a result. Well, let's change a couple of these things. I think we definitely want to turn yaw off on these. And we'll set this to pitch only. Now, other than that, I don't think there's really anything else we need, but we may not have much in the way of lift. So I'm going to add in a couple more of these wings. Space planes are something I've never really been good at. They're a little bit tricky. At least to my way of thinking. But now we should have plenty of lift, and I think this biplane design should be sufficient. We have full throttle, we do. And you know what, we forgot to turn off SAS. And we just, we're gonna wobble a little bit. I think we're going to have to wait until we get to the end of to the runway in order to lift off. Or we are going to have to kill ourselves again. Well, this is not turning out well. Maybe I shouldn't fly cockpit view. I don't know if I have the skill for it. To my way of thinking, planes are a lot more difficult to fly than rockets and KSP. We need to bring our intake air up too. So let's just do our best to get up to the end of the runway. Although it looks like we may have liftoff. I think maybe we'll fly over to this area over here, see if maybe we can get over there. And maybe go for a landing. I wonder if this counts as a different biome. I'm hoping so. Uh, hold on, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. I happened to get a phone call that I had to take, but we will return. Fortunately, I spliced these two videos together. So, yeah, let's go ahead and try to, maybe land here. Because there is this runway over here, and even though we're not very high up, I think it would be a good target for us. So we'll just come over here, I think. And we will try to land and maybe see if, well, one thing we should do is we should see if, we have any crew reports we can take here. The answer to that appears to be no. So, if we miss this area, then I guess we'll do a transoceanic flight. Because there are a couple of biomes that are worth unlocking. However, while we're flying, we can do some various things, like we'll take, not the materials bay. We'll log our temperature here, and we will transmit that. It'll take a little bit of, power to do, but that'll give us some science. And I think atmospheric pressure is a good thing to do as well, because we can do that without well, we've already got atmospheric pressure, it looks like, so let's go ahead. We'll get ready to land here in a bit. I believe that runway is believe that runway is coming up right upon us. So maybe that counts as a separate biome on here. If not, then we will have to, go to the, I guess maybe go to the moon and get ourselves some more science. So we'll just do that. We'll get ready to make our approach. Because we still actually have plenty of fuel left. We can, we can pretty much land wherever we like and get the science back from it, so that will be good for us. I mean, the main question is going to be, will, will we actually, be able to land? And so we're going to do our banking roll here. Maybe I should have put some of these things on action groups. Especially the stuff we can science spam. Oh, anyway, we're wanting to come down just a little bit now. Not too far. We don't want to crash into the airfield. We do, however, want to line up for our approach here. Which is going to be a little bit on the difficult side. Because we'll want to, first of all, we need to lower our landing gear. That's important. I don't know why it's not coming out. Oh, there it is. Is it me or have they very slightly changed the Space Center? Well, whatever the case may be, we are going to at least attempt to land here. And I think we're coming in too low, I think. Or maybe not. Well, that was not such a successful landing. But I think maybe we should try I guess to see if there's anything else to unlock. I think maybe we might consider, we might consider doing something with, a probe now that we do have the means to construct one. Or we could build up some more science by shooting another spaceship out, which seems to be a good idea. We'll just go with the moon, because the moon won't take long to get to. And this should, at the very least, give us the technology to, get to basically get to, an interplanetary probe. I guess in reality we probably don't need one. Like, we don't need some of the technology, but the interplanetary probe will yield useful results for us. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And that should not take any time at all, I'm hoping. So, let's go ahead and do that real quick. We should be, fairly well off at this point. Except, I think or no, we've got that. Well, let's abort the mission, because I picked the wrong one. We'll just, we will try to collect some data that we have not yet collected, like maybe over here in the grasslands. I'm thinking that will probably be the best place for us to go. Although I don't think we have enough thrust to weight ratio at this time to get us what we're looking for. This seems like the perfect way for us to fatally injure ourselves, because it appears that we're going to crash into KSP. There's not really much that we can do here at this time. Except, I guess, maybe take, some measurements that we don't have. Well, so much for that. I probably should have, waited, I guess. We'll recover that later. What I really wanted to do, I think, was, launch our mooner, lander. Hey, we got, recovery of a vessel that survived a flight. Well, that's interesting. Let's just recover the rest of that vessel. I don't know that we have that one yet, but I guess it's still, we're still very slowly, um, coming back in. Our periaps, you know what, we might as well bring this guy down. Although it will be in orbit for a while. We are doing a small amount of aerobraking, but it's not enough. We definitely want our periaps to go down much more, so we're just going to, we're going to go back to the Space Center. Because, there's really not much we can do there. That's going to, be in orbit there for a while. So, where's our Moon Explorer? We can get ourselves, more in the way of science this way. I think we definitely want to, be a bit more scientific. Now, I guess unfortunately for us, we don't have much in the way of other biomes, since I can't reliably fly a plane at this point. Which is not so good. It's probably a good thing I'm not a pilot. I probably should not have, flown that plane in the way I did. Maybe I'll get a joystick someday, I don't know. But, we will go ahead, I think. We'll collect some readings like we should. Like, I think we should definitely collect, more on the way of, barometric pressure. Oh, we're losing. That's because we had to burn out. Okay, we'll just throw that away. There's no point in having that. And we're just fine on that. We will have a little bit in the way of inefficiency, but we'll just have to deal with that. However, I think we'll be okay on this. Let's just turn ourselves around. I think we gave it a little bit too much rudder. There we go. I think we'll do maybe the upper atmosphere a little bit. When we get to that point. And so, yeah, we should be out of this atmosphere pretty soon, I'm thinking. So there's Minmus. And I think we will grab a bit of this data. We're in the upper atmosphere now, so have we done barometric data? No, we have not. And let's see about temperature data. Why we would bring this data back with us is beyond me. However, I do think we're doing quite well here. Let's just collect more of our pressure data. We'll go up to, I don't know, 80 or so. We actually should be at this point good to burn. Maybe we aren't good to burn straight to the moon. '86, '84, '83. '81, there we go. It's a nice square orbit for us. So yeah, we'll fast forward a little bit. And then we will get up into orbit. And we'll burn around 5 seconds or so. And we are probably a little bit further out than intended, but I think that's good enough. So now we just want to, we'll go ahead, we'll burn out to the moon. which shouldn't take much in the way of delta V. But we'll bring that periapsis down as close as we can. So we're at 62. That'll do quite nicely. And we will burn at 30. So let's just prepare for that. And we have drifted just a little bit. Wait. We'll go ahead, we'll take care of that. And let's go ahead and bring that apoapsis out. We're still 11 meters per second short. Oh, there we go. That is more than acceptable, I think. Now, how long we have to wait? 3 hours. That is not bad at all. And we are now in orbit of the moon. So let's bring the sky down to a respectable orbit. And maybe go somewhere we haven't gone before. I think 11 kilometers would be a sane orbit to be in. So, we have an hour and a half to burn. And 17 seconds for, whoa. For which I completely overshot that. Well, that is not good. I overshot my my burn just a little bit. However, since I'm not really, since I'm not really in a place I've been before, I'm going to go ahead and I'll burn retrograde. we'll just get ourselves down to a spot that we have not gotten to. Because even though this thing is pretty hilly, I think it'll be worth it. So, there is something I did forget to do last time. We can actually take a temperature reading around this area of the moon. That'll give us 12 science when we do so. So our surface velocity. We'll go ahead, we'll jettison this stage. That would be appropriate, I think. And I think we will go ahead and land down here. We need to pull out our landing gear, of course. Where are we? We'll grab a crew report. We're in space near the moon. And I overshot this quite a bit. Which will be fine. I just needed to pay attention to my deal here, which I did not. And we might as well push up our axis some, get rid of our horizontal velocity. Now, because I have no idea how close I am to the moon, it will be important for me to monitor my position, although I believe we want to cut back on the throttle just a little bit. I think that means we're about 400 meters above the surface. If I'm not mistaken, I can't really see my shadow. But, yeah, this, with any amount of luck, this return mission will go swimmingly. Or not this return mission, but this landing mission. And I think it will, because we're only going... Oh, we're only 100 meters above the surface. And it looks like we have landed actually on a fairly steep hill. So let's take some of our data here. This is a completely new biome, hopefully. The Midlands. We will transmit that. We will grab stuff in our materials bay that we'll keep. We'll observe the mystery goo and keep that. And we'll take our temperature reading. We can't, of course, log the pressure here, but we will, of course, grab our temperature data here, and then we will just pop out. It looks like we have Bill here instead of Bob. So let's see, what can we do? We can take an EVA report, of course. We'll keep that data. We'll take a surface sample, and then we will plant a flag. And we'll call that the Lunar Midlands. Let's see, landed on a hill. So the hope there is that we might have enough in the way of our scientific data to unlock some pretty cool stuff. Now, why is it that we are... Oh, we're on the wrong side of the ladder. And I think, even so, the ladder may be a little bit too tall for us. Yes, it's very slightly too tall. Because I'm not having... There we go. I wasn't having much success there. But, you know what? I guess we could, while we're here, let's grab a crew report. We could try, you know, flying over to what might be another biome. I'm not entirely sure about that. But we could try to land in this crater. That seems like a good start. Because I believe we have more than enough Delta V to get back. And so let's go ahead. We're about at the lip of this crater. Hopefully we won't actually collide into it. Is this a new biome? Yes, it is. It's the Twin Craters. So we will, we'll keep... Well, actually... We will, transmit that report for science. And we'll put down a flag even and collect our surface samples so that we might be able to send a probe back here and grab the data that we don't have. So we'll go ahead, we'll do that. Even though that would be very difficult otherwise to get. We just want to make sure that we land in these craters, whatever it is that we do. Oh, let's plant that flag. Let's see. We'll call that Lunar Twin Craters. Might have more data. And this way we can send an unmanned probe in to see what we have left. In the interim, getting into our spaceship hopefully won't be too much of an issue, as we do want to go back. And the first thing to do is to not knock yourself out when you are trying to, get back in. Anyway, that is, enough science for now, I reckon. We'll just have to, go east, probably. And we're already at the point to where we want to pitch over some. We're going to be way above the velocity we need. Although it might be a bit of a problem if we're not careful. Because at this point, we do need to circularize. And we may have to now send a rescue mission. Which unfortunately may mean that we will have to you know, get this thing up and going. But we have plenty of fuel, I think. I think we'll have enough to get back to the moon. That's not going to be the issue. Or not to the moon, but to Earth. Or Kerbal. We'll just need a very conservative burn, I think. One in which we were able to you know, in reality we don't need that big of a burn. Let's just see if there's a way that we can do this in a more energetically favorable way. Because if we exploit the Oberth effect, then we could, you know, we could get back. So that will be soon that we'll get back. Although I think we're about to run out of fuel. How much fuel do we have left? Yeah, we're screwed. And we have no RCS to get us back, unfortunately. I perhaps took a little bit too much of a risk here. So I think my next goal is going to be to try to get this down as far as possible and maybe rendezvous. I could always get out and push the spacecraft, of course. But we have to be careful with that because we are not in a very good position for this. Unfortunately, there is a way to see EVA fuel. We do have a fair amount of propellant available to us. We just have to we have to be very careful. We are not at all lined up with the spaceship. Oh, we'll use about 25% of our fuel, see if that at least gets us home. If not, we are in trouble. And that, of course, means that the manned program may be in jeopardy. All because we decide to take a bit of a joyride. I probably should have included RCS on here, and that's, I think, something I will do next time for sure. Unfortunately, that's not going to help us much because we do not have much in the way of a good, orbit here. Now we could, in fact, we could build a small pusher to bring us back. You see, part of the problem is that I'm having trouble telling where my Kerbal is. There we go. We'll go in. That is unfortunately the nature of the beast that we have chosen. Where did we get monopropellant from? I guess we have a limited supply on the spaceship. Well, that's nifty. It should be possible then for us to bring this guy down. So, I did realize something about my strategy. I've been pushing for ages now. And, just to give you an idea of the approach I've been taking, I've been popping out, turn on my RCS. Trying to line up with the engine here, which I conveniently have, going towards the prograde direction rather, and I've been getting out, I've been pushing, and we lose about a kilometer per second on our deal here. Meanwhile, this drops fairly fairly slowly, but because of this, it seems like we would need maybe another 2 or 3 I guess attempts to push this in order to get our desired periapsis. And so the last time I tried this, I went ahead and went all the way around when I got to my periapsis, of course, and I realized I could, at first I was thinking, well, it's cheaper for me to extend my orbit, so I'm going to go ahead and do so, because I utilized the Oberth effect at this point in order to extend us out. And it turns out we're actually pretty close to a free return trajectory, which is really awesome. So I'm going to keep on pushing for a bit. And once we push through, we're going to go ahead and try to affect that free return trajectory, which hopefully should be pretty easy now that we've got this low vantage point here. Hopefully we can get something that is at least useful. If not, then there's still a possibility that we can utilize the Oberth effect to give us more energy. And so I've been going until about 30 or so, because as it turns out I have that ladder right next to me, and that means getting back in is going to be alright. So let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's get around to our periapsis, and we're going to want to be quick here. This is about a minute away, so we're going to have to think quickly, but will we still have a free return trajectory? And the answer, of course, is no. However, at this point we will get a bit of delta V out, and in fact we probably could hit our free return trajectory if if we're careful about this. Although I think we're a little bit too inclined, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to get this guy up. I'm going to point towards my prograde direction, so I can get going in the right direction. We are going to hop out, and we are going to try to orient ourselves in such a way that we do not end up, lifting our periaps too much. We'll just bring this up. And I guess we could have, to some degree, lowered that. I guess we missed our injection point. Let's look at our periaps. Our periaps is actually not moving at all. Which is actually, in fact, it's lowering. That's really nice. I rather like that. So once we get up here, then we should be good to go. And I'm hoping at least that this will give us the opportunity to maybe speed up the process a little bit. And I'm aiming for about 40 or so, maybe even 30. Somewhere in between there. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and we will get this thing going up as high as possible. See, this is actually increasing much, much more because of the Oberth effects. And so we should be pretty close to our destination. And before too long, we should cut the jetpack and get back in. This 30 units of fuel may appear to be cutting it close, but I found that it's actually quite safe at this point. So let's get out to our apoapsis, and I'm going to get as close as I can to it. At this point, we're already pretty flat. And we'll want to get out and slow down a little bit. Maybe at the 6 minute mark. In fact, I'll go up a little bit more. Give me about 3 minutes or so. Because, that should be sufficient for us. And we are more or less pointed on retrograde at this point. And you know, what's weird about this is I actually thought they fixed this. You know, you weren't supposed to really get infinite EVA fuel, but it appears that either they changed their mind on it or whatever. Oh, we're just going to push on forward. And this is helping us just a little bit. I don't know if it's helping us as much as we would want, but it should contribute to the decay just a little bit. It's hard to tell whether or not we're actually losing much in the way of velocity because of the fact that we are, you know, so far out, and the physics engine is having trouble deciding what my effective periapsis should be. But I'm thinking maybe one or two more good pushes should pretty much do this for us. And with that being the case, we can, in fact, make, you know, a very slight correction that way. If not, then we're going to have to maybe go out here and possibly see what our final like maybe go out to our ascending node or close to it. It's difficult to tell where it's at. I think it's there. And maybe adjusting our ascending node will help. But it's about time for me to get back in to the capsule. And we'll just go ahead, we'll board. We'll get back out, we'll give ourselves a push. And we will, of course, it's probably going to be good if we turn around first. And there we go. We are now doing our apoapsis burn in order to bring us down into retrograde. Now, of course, given this, it may actually have been wiser to go the opposite direction. Which I'll have to test at some point. But the hope will be that we will have maybe one more push out of this. And because I really don't have much of an idea of where I'm going at this point. Looks like we may, in fact, need 1.5 pushes in order to get us where we're wanting to go. So we're at 199. 1.5 pushes seems to be correct. And so, let's just do that. And quick save just in case, the inevitable happens and I lose Bill, which has actually not happened yet. But it's surprising that it hasn't. There we go. So we'll just continue driving this thing into the planet's surface. We don't really have much in the way of, control here. And I have a feeling that we're getting diminishing returns. Because really all we want to do is aero brake. But, that could be easier said than done. However, it looks like we are getting down to a manageable orbit. So, that will reveal itself quickly. And actually, we are increasing efficiency, it does look like. So we may just get it in this barn. It's going to be a close call if we do. Then again, we may not. It looks like it's getting harder to do this, so I'm going to refuel real quick. And you know what, I'll do one of two things. Before we get back over here, I'm going to see what the effect is if we change our axis here. or change our inclination. That effect is not good, so we will continue on our burning, and this should hopefully be the last time. Assuming that I don't waste all that fuel trying to get down to this thing. Let's see. We're doing fairly well so far. I'm fairly confident we will reach our intended goal here after what must have been several maybe like an hour of pushing. And even here it would be possible to point my my engine's retrograde and get a desirable orbit out of it. But there's so much inertia that I'm not sure that that's actually going to be possible. I mean, we are actually going quite a deal faster than orbital velocity at our periapsis. And so, we should be getting pretty close into the atmosphere. Just get us as close to 30 as possible without us running out of fuel. And we will get back inside the capsule. So, in reality, this has probably been about 7 or 8 days worth of pushing. I'm actually going to go 100 times speed so that we can attempt a landing. So we're going about 3 kilometers per second, which should be expected. We are coming in from the moon. And we're thinking, this may or may not be a hard landing, but it's going to be difficult to tell. I mean, if you look here, our apsis should be slowly coming down. And we'll avail ourselves to the fact that we will probably we're probably going to skip through the atmosphere at least once. And that's simply because of the fact that we have so much energy coming in from the moon, and we didn't make a direct, shot. But we'll get out here and I think we are beginning to I believe we're beginning to slow down quite a bit. It looks like we may land, oddly enough, near KSC. It's going to be difficult to tell, but I think it's very likely. You can see our apoapsis is shrinking quite rapidly as we hit as we hit our periapsis. Hitting the moon at this point may be a bit of a pipe dream. Or not the moon, but Kerbal Space Center. However, our orbit, it does seem to be decaying in some sense. And we're about to be pure atmospheric. And a drogue chute might actually be a good thing to have about now. It looks like we're going to land on the dark side of carbon. Perhaps. We're not really grabbing that much drag, but we will soon. Maybe we'll actually land in a place we haven't visited yet. I mean, this is getting to be pretty close to it's getting to be pretty close to what we were expecting, I guess. So we'll just we'll go ahead, we'll point in the direction of our deal here. I'm expecting a somewhat rough landing. So, you know, I'm going to pretty much, I'm going to deploy my legs. I think pretty soon, we will touch down. What's our altitude so far? It's enough to where we're going to start getting a whole bunch of drag pretty soon. And I think we will land pretty close in. We might land on the ocean. Well, we're probably going to start heating up here in a bit. And there we go. We are rapidly losing velocity. It looks like we're going to be landing in a new biome. So let's just, we're gonna get ready to deploy our parachutes. I have a feeling if we don't, we're going to be in trouble. And we're, of course, the landing legs, as it turns out, aren't entirely necessary. I like having them down anyway. But we're at a constant, almost constant, 5 meters per second. There we go. Let's just, this is a new biome for us, I believe. Kerbin's Highlands. And we will get out, we'll take our sample, and we will try not to do that again. That was a little bit ambitious. But we'll attempt to bring up our surface sample, and we'll take an EVA report. And we'll recover the whole shebang. Well, maybe. I don't know if I can. We'll just pick Bill up when we pick up the capsule. But how much science did we get out of that? Hopefully we got enough to unlock some of the things we want. We got 694. Let's not forget about, Bill. He's got a little bit of science too. Not much, but enough that, we don't want to leave him stranded out there, out in the middle of nowhere. There might be wolves. So let's, do some things we might want for probes. Let's first of all get this control. Let's definitely get this nuclear engine. And let's get, in addition to all that, let's get the smaller rocket engines. and we'll start probing it up pretty soon. Anyway, this has been Lord Root, and y'all take it easy.